Hi, it's Phil Strong here from New Zealand. Thanks for giving me a couple of minutes of your time today. I have a few thoughts that I'd like to share with you. Here in New Zealand, I run an organisation called Business Edge. We connect and equip business leaders in the marketplace to walk out the calling of God in the marketplace, to be a light in their sphere of influence and to transform that sphere. We've been doing this since 2003. Recently, the Lord challenged me. He said, Phil, how do you disciple a nation? And I had to sit back and think about it. And as I did that, as I pondered and meditated on that with the Lord, He gave me the answer. He said, Phil, the way that you disciple a nation is you transform the cities. And the way that you transform the cities is that you connect and engage the business leaders of the city to be the transformation. And the way that they do that is to reach out to the families they touch, their employees, their customers, and their community, and to bring transformation in those areas. And I was like, wow, that's a great idea. You know, it's a great flow down. And the Lord said, no, it's a great flow upwards. Because as those families are transformed, the business becomes transformed. And those business leaders are able to steward the wealth and the influence that they have in the city to bring city transformation. And as we see cities across the nation transformed collectively, we disciple the nation. As I travelled into the US recently, I sat in San Francisco Airport pondering these thoughts, and the Lord said to me, Phil, it's time to plant Business Edge in cities across the world, bringing transformation. And so He's begun to release and unpack how to do that. But before we get to that, here's a picture that I think you might be quite familiar with. So usually what happens is we release business leaders that are focused on transformation, and we send them across a nation. And we send them into a town to bring transformation to that town, and they set the town on fire, and they get the locals very excited. They're on fire for God and His kingdom. And that person moves to another town and sets that town on fire, but you'll notice that the first fire's gone out. And as that superstar runs across the country, setting cities on fire and setting people alight, fires are established, but not often maintained. And this person gets tired as they run around and around and around, airport to airport, city to city, church to church, business to business, bringing the message of transformation, bringing the message of hope. But without a structure in place, it's very hard to maintain those fires that were so easily established at the beginning. So here's a different idea. What if we found someone in that city who had a heart for the city, who was planted in the city, passionate and called by God to be there, and we built a structure around them and helped them and developed some systems and equipped them and put that in place as a business. And then what we did is we took that person, we developed them, and we helped them to build a network of business leaders in their city that would surround them like a community, that would engage together, support each other, and equip each other, empower each other, and uplift each other. And they would become a global, citywide community. Each one of those businesses has employees and families that they could touch, that they could bring transformation to. And as we do that, we see the pattern repeated. So here's a different picture. Same nation, different strategy. We send someone out to set a city on fire, ignite the people and get them passionate, and then we put a structure in place that allows that transformation to be implemented across the city. And we do that in cities across the nation, across the nations. This is a global movement. We can set cities on fire, we can bring transformation, we can put systems in place where business leaders are connected, empowered and released to be successful in the business that God's called them to be a steward of the wealth and influence that God gives them. And as we do that and we connect a global network, we see nation after nation discipled and transformed. You know, I feel the Lord is calling Christian leaders to establish a global movement of business leaders who will disciple nations by transforming their cities. It's a huge challenge, and it's not one that I feel that I'm qualified at all to do on my own. And I think the key here is collaboration. The key is partnering together to set cities on fire, to establish and plant a local person who has a heart for that city, to see that city transformed. And then to help them and engage and build a business that helps them to connect business leaders in their city and empower them and equip them and release them to be the light in that city, to be successful in their business, to see families successful in their city. And by doing that, we change the social fabric of that city, and we change the moral fabric of that city. And we establish the kingdom of God. And we disciple the nations. I really hope I get an opportunity to talk to you about this idea, and perhaps we could discuss some ideas that you have, ideas that I have on if and how we might partner together to further this vision, this challenge that I feel God is laying down for us, those of us who are leaders in market transformation.